Good evening and welcome to another edition of Reflections. This evening our guests are from the Canton First Friends Recovery Ministries. Our first guests are Judy Adams and Paula Gates. And Judy, you're going to tell us a little bit about Recovery Ministries.
Right. Recovery Ministries at First Friends consists of classes and small groups for people who are really struggling through some of life's painful experiences. Sometimes it's codependency issues where they've really had an unhealthy dependency on something or somebody. It could just be a loss in life, something that they know just isn't right, and they want to improve and they want to heal through that.
Who might benefit from these recovery classes or groups?
Well, sometimes it's people who've made some poor choices along the way, or other people have made poor choices and they've been affected by those. People who struggle with low self-esteem, people who tend to be caretakers to jump in and rescue everybody, people who choose relationships that may be unhealthy or be difficult for them. It may be somebody who's just real irresponsible, or somebody who's super responsible and just wants to take charge of everybody, a controller. Maybe somebody who's just really feeling helpless, or they just feel like there's something wrong here. I'm not sure what it is, but I know there's something that needs to be dealt with.
Okay, so you cover quite a variety of problems, which is wonderful. Paula, you do the Healing Hearts class?
Yes, I do.
Correct? Okay. And who is in this class? Who's it for, and when do they meet?
Healing Hearts is for women who have been sexually abused as children, or women who suspect that they might have been. And we meet on Wednesday evenings from 7 to 8:15.
What's this class all about?
This class is, it's for those who want to be able to face the truth of their past, be able to head towards healing, and that also involves looking at the effects of sexual abuse in their lives.
What do you do in the Healing Hearts class?
What we do is our regular routine is we sing songs that help us to have an attitude of hope and praise, and we have prayer, and then we go into the study of our book that we use, which is The Wounded Heart. We also have a workbook, and we have discussion over that information that has to do with the effects of sexual abuse and how to head towards healing.
Now, if someone's interested in this class, how do they become a part of it?
Well, the first thing to do would be to come for the first time, which is sometimes very difficult, and to see what it's all about. And then hopefully they will see that this is helpful for them and want to come back and make a commitment to complete the study.
Okay, and that's on Wednesday evenings from 7 to 8:15.
Right.
Good. Judy, why don't you give us the phone number, First Friends?
492-6333.
Thank you. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back. Our next two guests, Sharon Swanson and Elwyn Hawk. And Sharon, you're going to tell us about two classes that you're teaching.
Yes,
correct?
I am. Right.
Next Step, Inside Out, and Next Step, New Patterns for Parenting. What does Next Step mean?
Next Step is really indicative of those folks who are maybe a little further along the recovery journey, who are willing to take a step beyond just looking at some of the behaviors that have been part of their recovery, and are willing to look beneath behaviors to the motivations that were behind them.
Then what does the Inside Out part mean? Inside
Out is actually the title of a book by Dr. Larry Crabb that we're using as the basis for this study. What it means is, as I said, it is for those folks who have the courage to look inside themselves to see what it was that was causing them to maybe perform some of the behaviors they were doing. You know, we can modify behaviors in our lives, but sometimes the driving force behind those behaviors are a little tougher to deal with.
Right.
And so that's where we are with Inside Out.
Why is this class part of the Recovery Ministries?
Well, I think that, you know, the reality is that we are all in recovery at some degree in our lives. And so for that reason alone, it's part of Recovery Ministries. But again, it is because a real part of recovery is being able to identify what's going on in our heart and in our soul.
Could someone that's not in the recovery program be in your class?
Absolutely. This class is open to anyone, and anyone with a commitment to personal growth would benefit from this class.
Now and that one meets Sundays?
Sunday mornings at 11:15.
Okay, for about an hour. The other class is Next Step, New Patternings for Parenting. And when does it meet?
That class meets on Monday evenings. It meets in the Oakmont House on the campus of First Friends Church.
Okay.
And we begin that class at 6:30 in the evening.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about this class.
That class is, again, for the courageous, those folks who are parents. It's for single parents, parents who find themselves in the situation of having blended families, or just simply the typical American two-parent family with 2.2 kids. But any of those people would benefit from this class.
Okay, what kind of topics do you cover in this class?
Boy, that's tough. You know, again, we look at behaviors of children and how to deal with behaviors, but more important, we're looking at our styles of parenting and where we learn those styles, how we can maybe relearn some healthier things so that maybe some of the unhealthy things that we have learned from our parents and grandparents, we can do a better job with our children.
Now, if I come to this class, am I going to come out a perfect parent?
I'm sorry, Pat, there are no perfect parents, and I make no claims to that. But we certainly are committed to helping parents be the best that they can be.
Great.
Not perfect. None of us are perfect.
No, this is true. Elwyn, you teach two classes. One of them is Divorce Recovery Workshop. What is the Divorce Recovery Workshop, and when is it offered?
Twice a year we do this workshop, spring and the fall. November the 4th we start another workshop which will be for 6 weeks, and it meets every Friday evening for those 6-week period at 7:30 to 9:30. This is a workshop for people who are either in a present divorce, they're in the process of going through a divorce, or they have been divorced and they are dealing with a lot of hurt.
What kind of topics do you cover in those 6 weeks?
Well, we deal with feelings, how to relate to yourself as a single person. We spend a lot of time on forgiveness of people in your past or in your life today. We deal with blended families, and we spend a lot of time on the question, does God still care about me?
What might I expect to happen in those 6 weeks?
Well, we should start to see some growth and feelings of I am still a whole person, and being able to feel comfortable with my singleness, and to recognize that God will be there to help us and to walk with us, and there's life after divorce.
Yeah, and I've been through that, and you're right, there is, but it's sometimes tough getting there. Is there a cost to this class, and how does one register for it?
Okay, the cost is very minimal, $15 for the entire 6-week course, and you can register by calling the church office at 492-6333, or come early at the first night.
Okay.
and register at the door.
And that starts November 4th.
Yes.
It's 7:30. And where is that held?
It's held right in the chapel,
Okay.
which is really right inside the front door.
Okay. Is there an ongoing class for those in the divorce recovery?
Yes, on Sunday mornings we have a Sunday school class we call Rebuilders, and we encourage those who have been through the divorce recovery workshop to come on Sunday mornings and be part of that class.
Okay. What are we rebuilding here?
We're rebuilding our lives. Those who have gone through divorce normally feel fairly destroyed as a person. And so the camaraderie that we develop with other people, the support that we receive from them, along with, we're putting our lives back together again.
Right. So I suppose a lot of people come to this class for that support group. Is there other reasons why they come?
Yes, well, we do a lot of things socially. And one of the reasons for that is that we want people to recognize that they can still have fun. Even though they're now a single person, there are still lots of things to do with your life. And in our social activities, we do a lot of outings, sometimes things that are sports related, lots of food and fellowship. Some of these social activities will be with children and some will be without children. But we want people to have the sense of family. Even though they're now a single parent, yet they can still find things to enjoy, to do with their children and with other families.
Okay. And that class meets on Sunday mornings at 9:45.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
It also meets in the same room that the divorce recovery program.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next two guests are Kelly Samblanet and Lisa Motais, and you're going to tell us a little bit about a workshop called Confident Kids. What is Confident Kids?
Well, Confident Kids is a support group for children that have come through a divorce. Their parents come through a divorce. And this program was created to help meet the needs of these children. There's so many hurting children from these homes that their parents have been divorced, and they have a lot of deep pain. And this program was created to help meet the needs of those children. And it runs during the divorce recovery program at the church for 6 Friday nights, and that begins November 4th.
Okay, so that's the same as the divorce recovery workshop. It runs at the same time.
Yes.
So the children can go to that or their parents go to the other.
That's right.
Okay, now you work with 1st through 6th graders.
Yes.
How do you meet the needs of these children?
Well, my sister and I and our husbands are the leaders of the group, and we really have a deep concern for these children, and we try to minister to their needs. We try to help them understand their feelings, and then through the program we try to teach them how to handle their feelings in a healthy way. And we also try to encourage them to share their feelings in a loving, safe atmosphere where they feel that they can trust us. We build a lot of relationships with these children, and we build their self-esteem because we get very close to the children, and I think we have a real opportunity to share our faith in Christ with them, and that helps them understand that they have that they can depend on the Lord for their to go when they're going through these difficult problems, and we teach them to pray, and it seems to really help, and they really enjoy the class.
Okay. Lisa, what do you do in the Confidence Kids class? What are some of the things that you do?
Well, each class is broken down into 6 different sections. When we start the class, to break the ice, we start out with a game or a craft. And after that, we go into a skit where we teach a sort of a lesson each week. And then after the skit, we break down into what's called like the heart of Confident Kids, which is the small groups. And this really facilitates sharing with the small groups and the kids. And then we end each week or each small group in prayer. And then after the small group, the kids' favorite time, which is snack. And then they love that. We do that for about 15 minutes. And then we go into our Bible time, and we sing songs, and we give them a memory verse to hold on to and to memorize and learn. And then after that, we're visited by a Bible character each week, and the Bible character tells us a little bit about his or her experiences, and we learn from that. And then we end each week, if all goes well, in the gym. And the kids love gym time because it really lets them. It's a release for them, and they really like it.
So then they get to run around and play basketball and do different things in the gym?
They enjoy it so much.
Super. Great. Is there a cost for this class?
Yes, it's $5 per child for all 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that's not bad at all. And it's $15 for the divorce recovery workshop.
Correct.
So it would be $20 for a parent and a child.
Correct.
Oh, for 6 weeks. That's wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. And now we have one of Kelly's kids with us here, one of the Confident Kids, Emily Swanson. Emily, what do you like best about the Confident Kids class?
Well, I'd have to say I like the staff best about Confident Kids. I liked what they were there to do. I liked what they did do. I liked how they worked with the kids. And I liked what they taught you.
Has this class helped you?
Yes, it has.
How has it helped you?
Confident Kids has helped me deal with my feelings. Confident Kids has taught me what my feelings are. Confident Kids has helped me learn healthy ways to deal with my feelings. And Confident Kids has taught me that God is always there for me.
You think it's helped other kids in the class too?
Yes, I do.
Do you? Do you have some friends in that class now?
Yeah.
Do you? Good. Well, I'm glad you came over tonight and talked to us. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. We're back now with Mike Wells and Olive Osborne. And Mike, you are a leader of a class called Teens Breaking the Cycle.
Right.
Now, this class meets the same time on Friday nights as the Divorce Recovery Workshop, correct?
Right.
Okay, and also the Confident Kids? All right, so if you're a teen, it's your class you need to come to.
Right.
Good. What does breaking the cycle mean, and how did you get involved with this class?
Well, basically, breaking the cycle just means that, you know, however you grow up, whatever you're around, what your family surroundings are and stuff like that, you're basically going to learn those same things that go on in your home. And in divorce situations, a lot of times the kids end up learning the same unhealthy patterns and habits that ended up getting their parents divorced. So breaking the cycle basically just means to learn better ways of handling those kind of things and learning from it, you know, and finding, you know, the right ways to handle those kind of situations, hopefully to prevent a continued cycle of them ending up divorced. Part of the way that I ended up involved in this class is that when I was younger, my parents divorced, and my whole life has basically been surrounded by divorce. There isn't anybody in my family who hasn't been divorced at least once. A lot of them have been divorced more than once. I myself was one of those ones that said, I'll never end up divorced, and it happened. You know, so after that, I really did a lot of searching for some answers because I just, you know, I was just at my lowest. And through that, at the church, I met Stan Hinshaw, who was our youth pastor. And at that time, he had a workshop called, it was a divorce recovery workshop for teens. And I sat in on that a couple of times and realized, you know, that this is someplace I needed to be. You know, I saw the need. I saw, you know, that there was a lot more kids out there that needed to learn, you know, how to break that cycle. So gradually, over like a year and a half, I ended up taking that workshop over for him.
Great. What do the teens do in your class?
Well, when we first start out, we just, if it's available, we have the gym, which they can play basketball or play volleyball in the racquetball court and stuff like that. And it's just real social, it's nothing real hard pressed or anything right at the beginning or anything. We just want them to have some time to interact and get to know each other and, feel comfortable and stuff, because there's a real stereotypical label that comes with kids from divorced homes that basically tells them, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. And we're trying to break that myth. But through the class and everything, we have, introduction time, icebreakers, and then we have some material that we present with question and answer period. We use real short videos on a few different nights, that are just basically interviews with kids who've gone through, the divorce situations and stuff. And then we have, we do some role playing on one of the nights. Another one of the nights we break up into small groups. After like the second night, we start breaking up into small groups towards the end of the night, and we have group leaders that facilitate those groups. That way, everybody gets a chance to talk or share.
Right.
They're not excluded.
Right.
And then at the end of every night, we have time for prayer requests, and then we always close with a short prayer.
Okay. Is there a cost to this class?
Yeah, it's $10.
Okay. Is this really possible? Can a cycle be broken?
Sure it is. Sure it is.
I think people need to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Just from my life, I see the cycle being broken of my old patterns of thinking and feeling and, all the behaviors and stuff like that. And from all the kids that I've seen go through the workshop, I've seen some pretty drastic changes. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
But once you teach them and once you show them that it is possible to learn different ways, then they start seeing some kind of a hope for the future. And that spreads out from them to their friends at school,
sure.
To their parents, to the, and eventually it can reach the whole community.
Right. Super. Olive, you lead a class called Rebuilders Bible Study, and this is on Friday evenings from 7 to 8.
That's right.
Okay. Why is your group called Rebuilders?
Well, most of the people in the group have been divorced, and they're busy rebuilding their lives, and they really want to know standards that are new from what they've had before, and the Bible is an excellent place to find these standards and help for going through problems.
Okay, is this in connection with the Sunday morning Rebuilders Recovery class?
Well, most of those that come to my Bible study do also go to the Sunday school class.
Okay. What's the purpose of this group?
Well, the real purpose is to find ways to cope, and so we take Bible situations and apply them to our own lives, and we share with one another how we have done that, so that people learn from one another, learn from the Scripture, and it becomes a growth situation.
Okay. What benefits do people experience in your class?
Well, do you know there's a sort of a liberation that comes as they find that there are ways to build rather than to look back and to be discouraged with themselves. And it's really wonderful to see them blossom and grow and be set free, really.
Okay. So they're helped and they each help each other.
Yes, they do, and there's a lot of fellowship, and then there are times they share their problems, and we have prayer for such.
Great. Thank you very much. Good luck with your work. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next guest is Dave Bradshaw, and Dave, you're the leader in a class called Overcomers, and you meet on Sundays at 9:45.
That's right.
Who are the Overcomers?
Well, we're an adult education class of ordinary people who've been addicted to something or have some problem in life that we're trying to overcome. Maybe addiction to alcohol or cigarettes or overeating or relationships. anything negative like that we're trying to remove from our lives. Many of us have been looking to something other than God and His ways for our life satisfaction, and that's pretty much who we are.
Okay. How do you go about helping people overcome these things, these addictions?
In our class, we, of course, it's a discussion class, and we learn to turn our will and our lives over to God's care. And we learn about what our part is and what God's part is in solving problems. We study the scriptures and we try to apply those to our lives. Really what we do is we share our difficulties and our successes in an atmosphere of love and acceptance and encouragement.
Now tell me, how has the First Friends Recovery Ministries impacted your life as a leader?
I guess I should describe it this way. When I first came to Friends Church, I was a very cynical, stubborn, unhappy person. And I think the worst part of it all was that I didn't like myself very well. Now, as a result of the years of being there, I do have a good feeling about myself. I was very isolated before. Now I have a lot of friends, and that's a real benefit. I think the best way to describe it is that the Lord has removed my heart of stone and given me a heart of flesh. I used to be so stubborn and closed, and I guess, you know, everybody in the class has a story to tell like that, and I guess that's why they call us overcomers.
Great, thanks. Judy, you're going to tell us a little bit about the 12-step program, and that's a spiritual journey, and the first one's on Wednesdays.
Right. We have two groups. They both meet on Wednesday. Okay. The 12 Steps of Spiritual Journey starts at 6:30 and goes until 8:15. This is a 28-week commitment. People have a workbook. They process this. They actually go through all of the 12 steps, gain the wisdom from the 12 steps, as well as the biblical insights to help along that journey of healing.
Okay, what's the purpose of this 12 steps?
The purpose is to just help people through the process of life deal with some of the things that have caused problems, caused discouragement, caused pain, to work through that to see, yes, I can replace some lies that I've believed, that I've been taught, that I've experienced with the truth, and it's that truth that truly sets us free. So it's a reprogramming, really, of who we are or who we think we are. Mm-hmm. And that happens by just going through those 12 steps.
Okay, what's the format for this weekly 2-hour class?
Okay, there's time for a presentation. There's time where we share what's been written and done in the workbooks. There's time for what we call family discussion. Many of these folks come from families that are so dysfunctional they don't know what a real family is. Mm-hmm. So this is their family unit where there can be a lot of sharing. We stress confidentiality in all of our recovery classes so that people can truly share who they are and the struggles that they're going through, and then together they can celebrate the progress. So then we have an ongoing group that meets on Wednesdays at 8:30, from 8:30 to 9:30, and they just weekly take one of the 12 steps and process that, so people can come in and out of that at any time.
Super. If anybody wants to know more about any of the classes or workshops, and that goes from first grade all the way up through as old as you want to be,
right,
how can they get a hold of you and get information?
They may call First Friends at 492-6333 and ask for me, or just to have one of our brochures sent out. We have a recovery brochure and many others on our different classes.
Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us on another edition of Reflections. you.